All right, everyone, time to take a look at the second episode of the day, the Yoko Factor. Colonel McIntyre talks to Mr. Ward about plans for the initiative, getting Riley back and dealing with Buffy. Spike tells Adam that Buffy's going to be a difficult challenge to defeat, and he shouldn't underestimate her. Spike talks about killing two slaves not being able to kill Buffy, especially because of the chip now in his head. The two plans to separate Buffy from her friends. Meanwhile, she returns to her empty dorm room. Xander brings Riley some rather colorful clothes to wear, and they talk about their mutual distaste for Angel. Realizing they didn't know, Xander tells Riley about how pure happiness with Buffy is the trigger that removed Angel's curse. Giles is singing and playing guitar when Spike surprises him by showing up in his apartment. Spike talks to Giles about files inside the initiative that he might be able to get for a very large price. Spike tells Giles that Buffy doesn't respect her former watcher anymore, and that upsets Giles. Willow and Terry play with the new kitten while planning their class schedule for next year. Let's talk about future housing plans, but Willow hasn't talked to Buffy yet and isn't sure what she wants to do now that things have changed so much. Riley goes to Buffy and the funny clown pants Xander gave him to wear. Using radio, he's tapped into the initiative and is making sure he's aware of everything going on with the operation. She mentions that Angel upset her, but she doesn't want to talk about it and Riley leaves. Xander and Anya bring Spike fatigues to wear and among them is a gun, which Spike is amused to find and is apparently ready to shoot Xander only for the chip to go off as soon as he aims it. Xander admits that Spike can't even aim weapons anymore, especially considering the gun is fake. Recovering, Spike accuses the Scooby Gang by making Xander feel unwanted, but convincing him that the rest of the gang doesn't feel as useful. Buffy goes patrolling and runs into Forrest, who was also looking for Adam. They argue as they go into a cave and find Adam. The three of them fight. Adam skewers Forrest and Buffy makes a run for it. Limping, she falls and slides down a hill, hitting her head on a rock. Pretending to have sneaked into the initiative and retrieved some discs with information, Spike charges in Giles' place. Giles continues to get drunk while Willow tries to decrypt the discs. Spike notices Will and Tara's behavior toward each other and, realizing they're in a relationship, decides to use it and talks to Will about her new Wicca interests and how Buffy and Xander don't seem to support it. Will thinks it means that her friends aren't accepting their romantic relationship. Riley hears there is trouble on the streets, there is radio and goes to check it out. He finds it is Angel fighting off the commandos, and Riley refuses to let Angel go see Buffy. The two have a brutal fight, of which Angel is clearly the victor. Since the fight is personal for both combatants, no punches are pulled. Angel, who normally refrains from using his superior physical strength against human and still stinging from Buffy's recent comments in L.A., holds nothing back in the fight. Similarly, Riley, having just learned what makes Angel lose his soul, uses every weapon on him. The fight ends when Riley, having momentarily stunned Angel with his taser, is lifted by Angel and thrown into several trash cans. Angel then picks him up once again and throws him once again to the side of a building. Finally, both run off when a military truck comes down the street. Buffy returns to her dorm room and Angel shows up. As Angel tries to talk to Buffy, Riley barges and points the gun at Angel. Angel taunts Riley and two come to blows again. Buffy separates them and wants to talk to Angel alone. Riley refuses to leave the room, so Buffy and Angel part to the hallway, then up over Angel taunts Riley with a superior smirk. Buffy goes off on Angel and then they laugh when Angel confesses he came to make up. Angel admits that he had no right to talk to Buffy like he had before, explains how he had been attacked by the initiative soldiers. Riley only waded into the middle of it and immediately accused him. Accepting, Buffy also admits that Angel was not entirely wrong. The two were no longer part of each of the other's worlds, and she had no right to barge in on his. Having concluded his business, Angel leaves. Seeing that he doesn't like Riley, and Buffy thanks him, and being grateful towards his jealousy. Spike reports back to Adam, happy to have split up the Scooby Gang. He dubs his plan the Yoko Factor. Riley's aware that Buffy has reunited with Angel and confesses that he already knows about how Angel can lose his soul, which set him off. They profess their love to each other, and then Buffy brings the bad news. She tells him that Forrest is dead, and he leaves quickly. Everyone meets at Giles' house, and Buffy intends to go back to the cave, believing that Adam wouldn't have been there for no reason. As Giles gets more drunk and more bitter about the fact that Buffy doesn't need him anymore, Buffy declares she's going to the cave alone. Both Willow and Xander despite words ringing in their minds, take exception at this. Xander believing that Buffy only needs him around for menial takes and accuses her of this. Buffy defends herself and gets angry at Xander for telling Riley the full details about her relationship with Angel. Turn on, you sneak into the bedroom and hide. Soon personal feelings start to come up, as well as makes her dislike of Xander and Anya's relationship vocal, particularly the fact that she and Xander are hardly apart, and accuses Buffy of not taking her seriously and being uneasy with her since discovering Tara was her girlfriend. Xander begins to argue that Buffy and Willow forgot about him when they went off to college. The rest is that Willow has just said is shocked, with a bloody hell coming from Giles, who has gone upstairs. By now, Buffy's had enough of her supposed friends attacking her, and realizes how they could possibly help her. Xander Miller is stunned into silence by these hurtful words. Buffy declares she is on her own and can see why the prophecies never mention a chosen one having friends. As she leaves, she tells everyone she's going to someone she can count on. In Adam's lair, Riley shows up as an unexpected guest. Dun dun dun. So now let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. Riley summarizes Buffy and Angel's relationship as him turning evil, killing people, being cured, then leaving. Xander tells him that Angel's trigger is a moment of happiness, i.e. having sex with Buffy. Spike opines that what makes Buffy such a successful slayer is her friends and family supporting her. Something unique he knows in school hard and will tell her in Fool for Love. Buffy returns to Sunnydale directly after the events of the Angel episode Sanctuary, discussed with Angel in this episode. Spike retrieves a packet of blood from Giles' apartment, as the vampires stay there from the episode Pangs until Hush. Angel needs an invitation to Buffy's dorm room, and the freshmen, Sunday and her vampires, were implied to have entered the same room at will. Xander tells Spike that he should have kept his military outfit from last time they broke into the initiative in New Moon Rising. Spike explains insecurities Scoobies have been harboring throughout the season. Giles felt obsolete as an unemployed librarian and new man. Xander feared being left out of college and fear itself, and Willow hid her new relationship with Tara since a new man. Willow refers to Tara as her girlfriend for the first time, having applied the relationship to Buffy in New Moon Rising. So now let's take a look at a production note from this episode. Bob Damiani, who portrays Mr. Ward in this episode, also appears on Angel as the unidentified groundskeeper in South Portugal and as Glithru and Heartthrob. And now finally, let's take a look at some pop culture references. Spike compares Adam with the motivational speaker Tony Robbins and the monster from the 1818 novel Frankenstein. Xander refers to Buffy as L.A. Woman, the title of a 1971 album by The Doors. Xander describes Riley in uniform with G.I. Joe action figures. Anya drinks a cup from the In-N-Out Burger fast food restaurant chain. Spike quotes, "Be all you can be," the United States Army's recruiting slogan from 1980 to 2001. Anya mentions Xander being fired from the Starbucks coffee shop. Buffy first initiative as the Corleone family from the Godfather film series. Joss drinks Glenlivet single malt scotch. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Xander mentions hypothetically doing sit-ups at Fort Dix, a United States Army post. Willow quotes, if ever I was, there was, from the song Following the Brick Road / You're Off to See the Wizard for the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz. Excuse me. Spike tells Adam about Yoko Ono, blamed by many for the Beatles' breakup. Adam says he likes the song Helter Skelter. Spike remarks that he's not surprised about reference to Charles Manson adopting the title of the song, describing a pending apocalyptic race war. Xander compares Giles to Batman's butler Alfred Pennyworth. Anthony Stewart had later voiced Alfred in Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Spike mentions The Wild Rumpus, a reference to the 1963 book of Wilding Czar by Maurice Sendak, which also lends the same to another episode in Season 4. So overall, I think this episode is kind of interesting, and the fact that, the Scooby Gang kind of momentarily splits up in this episode is not quite good, so yeah. So overall, I give the Yoko Factor 5 vampire steaks out of 5. Anyway, tune in a bit as we tackle the penultimate episode of the season, Primeval. So, until then, here endeth the lesson.